Hey team, hope you're having a blessed week. I just wanted to touch base with you. I wanted to talk about when Jesus cursed the fig tree. He in Matthew 21:19, where he talked about where he saw the fig tree, he walked up to it, and had leaves but no figs. To my understanding, with a in that region, if a fig tree has leaves, it's supposed to have figs. So when Jesus walked up on it and no figs, that to me was a situation speaking to Jesus in a dysfunctional state. And I love that because it said Jesus answered the fig tree and said, "Let no fruit ever grow on you again." And in life, I feel sometimes that you walk into situations like that are incorrect. Like you may walk into a situation that's incorrect, or a situation that's incorrect may walk into you. Um, and let me give an example of that. I remember we were my youngest daughter was, she's in a high chair. I walked out of the room, and then Alicia walked out a little bit after I did, and Alicia returned back within like 30 seconds. Within 30 seconds, our daughter fell out of her high chair, knocked her tooth out. You get your two front teeth, knocked her tooth to the side of that front tooth. I don't know what that tooth's called. Knocked it out, and her actual one of her front teeth was jammed all the way back up into the gum. Blood was everywhere. Alicia's like, "Mark." So I walked into her. So I walked into an incorrect situation. We cleaned up the blood. We grabbed the tooth that was knocked down. We went to the hospital for the dentist, and we're sitting down with the dentist. Now my daughter's like, she's in high chair. You know what I'm saying? So she's very young, and he's like, "Well, the tooth that knocked out, it's a baby tooth. It's gone. Yeah, the other tooth will just replace it." He said, "But most of the time, when a tooth gets jammed up like that, when it comes back down, it's dead, and she'll just have to have a dead tooth until her, adult tooth takes its place." So Alicia and I got home, and we're discussing this whole thing, and I'm like, it's just not right for my baby to have a dead tooth. All these teeth are nice, and then you got this one dead tooth sitting there. That's not going to work for me. Because every time she smiles, you see a dead tooth, a dead brown tooth. That'd be ridiculous. But anyways, so we came into agreement. We said, hold a minute, God's word works. So we sat back and spoke to that. We commanded that tooth to come down perfectly, just as how it was before, and to be alive and living. And we wrote it down. That was it. And now it took a little while for that tooth to come back down into true position. But remember, when we released that, it was over. And during that process, every time she smiled, of course, you love your baby's smile. But at the same time, the enemy was speaking to me saying, that tooth is dead. It's going to be brown until her adult tooth comes in. And he kept saying that over and over through this whole process. But see, I was just like Jesus at the same time when he spoke to the fig tree. He just moved on to Jerusalem. It was already a done deal. He didn't have to meditate on it, he had to think about it. And so no matter what the enemy was trying to tell me, it was a done deal. And I focused on, in my imagination, the picture of her tooth being in the right place, the right color, until her adult tooth come in. And that's exactly what happened. So during that whole time, that's my focus. But she's smiling, the enemy's saying, see, that tooth ain't coming in. It's going to be dead. And I didn't pay attention to that because I don't have time to pay attention to a defeated loser. I focus on what the king has told me. So he wants you to do the same. So remember these 4 things. 1, you take God's word, you release it in faith with your mouth, and his power is released. Say that again. You take God's word, release it in faith with your mouth, and his power is released. So I'm asking you, in a sense, we are the catalyst for that situation because God's word already promised. And if I truly believe that all things are possible to him who believes, then I need to be the catalyst. I need to release that in faith. So I'm going to ask you this. Are you being the catalyst in your family and in your life? You guys be blessed. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for the feedback, and I'll talk to you soon.